Hey guys, Cody from Arganic Woodwork, and today we're going to go over the Mirka sanding system. Here we have the deros+650X and their HEPA vac system, and I use it mostly for my river and resin work, and I want to show you guys why I prefer it. Okay, so before we get started using the Mirka sander, I have to note that we actually used a Festool Rotex 150 along with a Festool brand abrasive. We actually used the Granat, I believe I'm saying that right. And I'm gonna bring you guys in close so you can see the lines and the scratches that it leaves in the epoxy. If you look in the epoxy, there is some pretty deep scratches that were actually caused by the Festool abrasive, compared along with that Rotex 150. Now we do need to note that the Rotex was actually on the orbital position when we did this. And I just did that so you guys could see a comparison of what it looks like at 320 grit sanded down with another abrasive compared to the Mirka Abranet and the Mirka deros+650. So now that you've seen what it looks like with the other abrasive, you heard me mention the Abranet from Mirka, so let me show you what the Abranet actually is. The Abranet brand type is a Mirka brand, and it is a wire net looking abrasive. It's no holes, but the entire thing is see-through. And what that does is it creates a very, very fine finish. And so what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna start at 180 and work our way up to 320 and show you in the comparison what it looks like. Okay, so something very cool to note. There is an app for Mirka because the deros+650X actually has Bluetooth capabilities. Now in order to activate the Bluetooth on the sander, you just hold the plus RPM button and then the power on button. And when you do that, this blinking light here indicates that it is searching for Bluetooth. Now, open up your app, and you'll see here, hit the little Bluetooth, hit the tool, and it may take a little while for it to connect. And it's connected. It's loading the settings of the tool. Now, it shows you tool details, name, machine, serial number, all of that. Go back, go to my Mirka. Now with this, we go to speed, and we can tell how fast our RPM is going once we hold this down and turn it on. So you can see there, we were all the way up. Now we'll go minus. Now, that time we were at 9,000 RPM. And with each click of the button up or down, you go 1,000 RPMs. So let's hit minus one more time. And that's pretty cool. Now you're probably wondering where or when you will actually use this setting. And I use it mainly because I wanted to find out where the perfect RPM was in order for the orbital sander to go and not get any of this scratching on the epoxy. And I found that 6,000 RPM is actually the sweet spot. for resin. So another capability of it is the vibration. Now that was at 8,000 RPM, so let's go all the way up. And if you're going to be doing a lot of sanding for prolonged, it'll actually send you an alert letting you know you need to rest your hand. And it's pretty cool. Okay, so now that we've gone over some bells and whistles of the tool, it's time to get to work. As you notice, there you can see no scratch marks, like anywhere except for right there. And most likely that is from when I used the Rotex. I should have gone down to a lower grit starting out for the Mirka to get that out of the way. Because it was just a little deeper than I thought. But out of all this, those are the only scratches, and they're very deep. But none of those little spirally scratches, and I only went up to 320 grit. Okay guys, so that was it. Very short, simple, sweet demonstration and review on the Mirka deros+650X along with their back system. During this time, COVID-19 is on everyone's mind, and there are no masks, or very little masks really to get. And so it's great to know that I didn't have to wear a mask for this. It's completely dustless. There wasn't any epoxy flying up or anything like this. This thing works really, really, really well. So this is the Abranet. It's the a mesh abrasive that we used here. I only went to 320 grit, and to get this kind of clarity on epoxy at 320 grit is pretty phenomenal. Usually I would go to 2500 to 3000 to get this kind of clarity. Another thing, when I pointed out there was none of these little spiral scratches on the resin or the epoxy, which is why I have labeled this abrasive and this sander the best combo for this kind of work. If you're doing deep pours or you're making epoxy resin art and you understand the frustration of getting those tiny little spirals and there's that sweet spot. If you notice, when we were sanding, I was pulling out my phone. It's actually because I think we started off and I had it way too high. I didn't check it when I started it. Had to pull it out, check where my RPM is. Like I said, 6,000 RPM is really that sweet spot to where you get this kind of clarity. You have to go a little slower, but it's totally worth it. You don't have to change out tons of sandpaper. Going to 3,000 grit on an orbital, constantly changing out, having to align the holes. If you noticed, I never even looked at the bottom of the pad. I just laid the abrasive down, set it on top, and started. And it's amazing. So, Mirka, great job. Great job. Okay guys, so that was our video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. If you're looking at the Mirka system, I hope that this helped you in your decision. Either way, if you're doing a lot of resin and epoxy jobs, I really do highly recommend this system. The saving on time in the sanding process is valuable. So if you want to see that project finished, follow us along at Arganic Woodwork on our Instagram or Facebook page. And yeah, I really do hope this helps. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you must. And as always, God bless, guys.